Hello, everybody. It is Furry Friday. I am a guest speaker here today at House of Paws. How many Furry Fridays have I missed, you guys? Lots.
Too many.
I have missed lots. I am usually at the warehouse. However, we have a very, very busy month going on. I've got the lovely Bailey with me. I am Carly. We are doing our Furry Friday today because it is Friday, and I know you guys always like to talk about how cold the weather is, but
It's not cold.
It's not cold.
It's a miracle. It is actually melting outside. We are not going to complain that we are freezing today. I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate that we're not talking about how cold it is. But it is actually a very nice day outside today. I'm kind of excited about it.
Especially if you are not in our neck of the woods. We are in Regina, Saskatchewan. If you see us looking back and forth, it's because we have TikTok here and we have Facebook there. And you may have seen on any of our posts or in the caption, wherever that might be, on the device that you're staring at, it is Pet Nutrition Month, you guys. Pet Nutrition Month. Our most favorite month of the year. Why? Because we are all about pet nutrition. I say it all the time, you guys. We are a pet nutrition education center and we just happen to sell food. So, before we get into that, I wanted to talk about, so I alluded to the fact that we have a very busy month in March. It is March, yes?
It is March.
Okay. Sometimes it's busy all the time. So, in March, not only is it Pet Nutrition Month, and if you are following us on Facebook or Instagram, you will be playing along right now with our Furry Feud.
Exciting. So exciting.
Family Feud, forget about
Yeah.
it. This is the Furry Feud, you guys,
Way
and it
better.
is all about pet nutrition. Oh, there we go. Okay. We've got Lee in the back, and she's talking with one of our customers over Instagram about nutrition. So, but what have we got going on? We have got the Pet Expo coming up March 18th.
We keep on telling everyone that it's going to be me and Lee there, and we will be up to all sorts of no good, and it will be hilarious. I'm sure we will make everything very entertaining. So if you are in the Regina area on March 18th and you want to pop by the Pet Expo, I can assure you Lee and I will do our best to keep you as entertained as possible.
Yes. And the Pet Expo, I started the Pet Expo before I even opened House of Paws. And the whole idea behind Feeding Fur Babes is that we are a group, a non-registered group of folks who raise money for animals in need when the need arises. So in the past, we have donated funds to the various different local rescues that we have, or individuals whose pets needed life-saving surgeries, but they couldn't afford it themselves. We donated to help make sure that that furry guy got the medical care that he needed in order to live a long, happy, healthy life. So our Pet Expo is the biggest event that Feeding Fur Babes does to generate funds, raise money to help animals when animals are in need, so that we have the ability to help as many as possible. We have 20 different pet businesses that will be at the Pet Expo. The Pet Expo is at the Royal Hotel on South Albert in Regina. Again, you can go to our Facebook event or our Facebook page and find the event, or just even search on Facebook the Feeding Fur Babes Pet Expo 2023, and you can get all of the details. It is 10 till 4 on March 18th.
It is pet friendly, so you
It
can
is
bring your furry friends with you.
100% pet friendly, and not only furry friends, but any little hi there.
Hi, how are you?
Any pets that you have in your house are more than welcome.
Yeah,
That's okay. Come on in.
It's okay if you come.
This way you can avoid. We have had, obviously, the puppers come to the Pet Expo. We have had kitties attend. We have had turtles attend. That was the coolest thing. Of course, I was singing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle song to the turtle. But anyways, we've had ferrets attend the event. It is completely pet friendly, so regardless of who your pet is, as long as they are legal in the city of Regina, they are more than welcome to come. we have a mandatory safety waiver for anybody who does bring pets to the event that used to be on paper. And it took forever because people had to fill out all of this information. Well, COVID has helped us evolve in many, many different ways. And so now our mandatory safety waiver is actually all electronic. So you're going to come in, you're going to scan a QR code, you're going to fill out some information on your phone. Your phone will probably pre-populate anyways. And you're good to go and you're in. Tickets are $5 for one person or $20 for 5 people. So if you want to buy a family pack, you get 5 people in for the price of $20, or tickets are for one person are $5. Furry guys, any pets come for free. And at our booth, you guys, we know how much you guys love our mystery bags or mystery boxes or anything that's a mystery that gives you a bunch of healthy, good stuff for the furry guys. So hi there. So we have mystery bags available at the Pet Expo. They will have over $70 worth of good stuff for the furry guys, and they're only going to be $25. So the mystery bags will be there, plus we have a gift basket worth over $500 that you can enter to win. That's just ours. All of our different vendors also bring door prizes. Hi there. And you can buy raffle tickets at the event to win the different door prizes. All of the different booths for our different vendors will have different events for either you or your furry guys. It is a fantastic time, you guys. We get our own DJ. They come and they spin the tunes, keep the energy pumping. We've got Chaos Dog Sports, who will be performing every hour on the half hour. So come out and see these furry little athletes do what they love to do with all of their different agility performances that they will be doing. It's a fantastic day. We also have RMX Digital there, who will be taking professional photos of the furry guys for a donation, because of course this is a major fundraiser for us. So we try to do as much as we can through donations. So RMX Digital will be there taking pictures of all the pets. You can get in those pictures if you want to with your furry guy, and then for a donation you get that picture. They will also have all of their cool pet stuff as well. So that we also may be at the Home and Garden Show, which is at the end of March, beginning of April. So we're just waiting to hear back on that. I head to Global Pet Expo right after our Pet Expo. I'm heading down to Orlando, Florida, to attend Global Pet Expo. Global Pet Expo is, if you've been with us for a while, you already know that I go to Super Zoo in August. And Global Pet Expo is one of the biggest pet expos out there for pet professionals. So we get to go and see all the brand new products that different manufacturers have brought out. We get to see all the healthy good stuff. I hang out in the holistic area for the most part, but I do have to go check out new toys and accessories and things that are brand new to the market. We're going to learn about that when I go down to Orlando, Florida. So that might be it. It's a busy month. One more thing. Are you a lucky dog? Are you? We're going to find out. We have got, and I'm not going to give you all the details just yet, but we all know that St. Patrick's Day is in March, and so we are going to be having a great big contest to find out if you are a lucky dog. So stay tuned for that, and you'll get all of the details and figure out just how you can enter and find out if you are in fact a lucky dog. Okay, so let's get into this. I see that we have a couple little comments. I'm just going to address these really quick. Love you guys. We love you too. Making my dog food. Walmart chicken, tuna, tablespoon, olive oil, carrots, brown rice. What do I think? So I think that that's a very good start, but it wouldn't be balanced. So home cooking for your dog, absolutely, we encourage that. But what we also encourage and we want to make sure you're doing is providing a complete and balanced diet. The risk we run if we are not providing a complete and balanced diet is major health complications going forward because we are going to create diet deficiencies. So this is a very good start, but we definitely want to make sure that you're following a recipe from a holistic vet that ensures that you are including all of the necessary ingredients to make sure that you are feeding complete and balanced. Now that said, complete and balanced is an overall. Think about ourselves. If out of 7 days in a week, we eat properly, we eat a complete and balanced diet 6 out of those 7 days, but one day we have a Slurpee for lunch and a donut for breakfast and a pizza for supper, not a complete and balanced diet, but it's not going to kill us for a day. So we want to make sure that overall we're providing a complete and balanced diet. If the diet isn't balanced every single day, that's not something to stress about, but we do want to make sure that if we are home cooking, that we are providing a complete and balanced diet. Can you recommend what to feed a 1-year-old Maltipoo? So whether it's a Maltipoo or a Great Dane, or a St. Bernard, or a German Shepherd, or a Yorkie, I don't care what size, or breed, or age. The best thing that we can feed any dog. There we go. Sorry, Facebook, phone came in. I forgot to put us on Do Not Disturb. I'm going to do that right now. There we go. I will avoid that from happening again. So, oh good. And it goes on to both. The best thing that we can feed any dog, regardless of breed, age, size, is a biologically appropriate diet. And what that means is that we are trying to replicate Mother Nature's intended diet as best as possible. A biologically appropriate diet also means that it is not processed. Think about our furry guys if they were fending for themselves out in the wild, eating what Mother Nature intended. They are not going to be eating processed food, not unless they found some scraps of McDonald's on the highway, maybe because they are scavengers. But for the most part, they are going to be eating fresh, whole foods. So a biologically appropriate diet, if you are buying it, is typically found in the freezer section. It's going to be a frozen, raw meal. We always tell folks the other thing that is very important, regardless of what you are feeding, regardless of what you decide is the best for your pet and your lifestyle, is that we not only rotate proteins, but we also rotate brands. We rotate types of food. So, and lastly, supplements. But when I say types of food, so a rotation of proteins, brands, types of foods, and supplements. This is key for any balanced diet. We want to be a mad scientist. We want to build that buffet in the bowl. We want a variety and a diverse diet that includes not only a variety of different proteins, but also a variety of different types of foods. Soft food, raw food, hard food, freeze-dried food, whatever, a variety, fresh, whole foods. We want to rotate brands as well. You don't want to get married to a brand ever. You don't want to get married to a brand as a consumer, and I don't want to as a retailer. What if, I'm going to use Champion as an example here, you guys. What if you were married to Champion, and Champion was the only thing that my dog will eat, and that's the only thing that I'm going to feed, and now Mars has purchased Champion, and you're going, holy crap, Champion is the only thing that my dog will eat. The more diverse we can make the diet, the better it is for the animal health-wise, but also in the event that something happens with that brand. If you're married to a brand, it makes it pretty tough to go find something for your dog. We do not recommend feeding the same food day in and day out for the entire lifetime of the animal. Who the heck would ever want to eat the same thing for an entire lifetime? Nobody. Food fatigue is a real thing, you guys. Food fatigue happens when we eat the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and we get sick of the food. And then all of a sudden we're saying, oh, my dog's so picky, he won't eat anything. He won't eat anything but this. He might not eat anything but this because that's the only thing he can tolerate right now. And And I'm going to use this analogy. If you and I ate nothing but chicken and broccoli for the next 6 months, on that 7th month when we sat down and tried to eat steak, it would hurt. It would hurt because our body has become used to processing nothing but chicken and broccoli. We do the same thing to our pets when we feed them nothing but the same food over and over and over and over again. Sorry, easily distracted by dogs, you guys. A dog just went walking by and I had to look. Okay, okay. Oh. I can't keep up with all the questions. Here we go, you guys. Just a second. Diet for liver problems. So diet for liver problem, diet for anything. We want to make sure that we're always starting with a premium option. And I say that because everybody says premium, that's going to be expensive. Let me tell you why. Premium means that we are starting with quality ingredients. When we're trying to combat any health issue, or even if we're not, the better, let's put it this way, what goes in must come out. So crap in, crap out. If we put crap in to the food that we're making, crap is coming out. When we start with high quality good ingredients, we get a high quality good ingredient food. This is important when we're trying to support different organs. The quality of the raw ingredient is what's more important than any percentage of protein or fat. It's the quality of the meat. Now, somebody who is experiencing liver problems, I'm going to tell you right now, milk thistle. You want to get yourself a milk thistle supplement. Milk thistle will help rejuvenate and restore livers that have been damaged and make them optimize, help them optimize and function properly. So if you have a furry guy with liver issues, milk thistle will be your best friend. And I'm not going to say I don't care what you feed. I do care what you feed. I want you to start with premium food. I want you to feed a premium food. I prefer that you feed a biologically appropriate diet. However, if that doesn't fit in your lifestyle, or for whatever reason you aren't doing that or can't do that or don't want to do that, then make sure you're all still feeding a very high quality premium food and you incorporate milk thistle into the diet. Okay, and you will see that liver start to repair. And hello to you too, Ben. I love your videos and love our safety for pets. You know what? They are the reason that we do this. I keep meaning to tell the whole story about how House of Paws started, and I will do that. I will do that. I will do it as a TikTok, but you guys, you know what? The pets are the reason that we do this, and I always say that to our customers too, that your pets are our pets too. They just happen to live with you, but we love them. This is why we do what we do. So, love your content. Thank you. What is your opinion on Stella and Chewy's raw patties? So Stella and Chewy's as a whole, my opinion on Stella and Chewy's as a whole is they use synthetic vitamins that are not chelated. When we chelate vitamins, the body can then absorb them more easily. Okay, so Big Country Raw, which is a raw brand that we sell, they do use some synthetic vitamins, but they are all chelated, which means that the body will absorb them. When we give the body synthetic vitamins or natural vitamins, the body will absorb natural, but it will not always absorb synthetic. So when we chelate those vitamins, we allow the body to absorb them. So Stella and Chewy's uses synthetic vitamins, but they are not chelated. When I was first deciding what to bring in, that is what strongly pushed me to Primal versus Stella and Chewy's, because Primal uses natural vitamins. Love your management style on Pet Store. I work at Petco and see so many people buying bad kibbles. Oh, Sam, you know what? Thank you. First of all, thank you. It breaks my heart. When I go to Costco, you guys may have seen our Costco TikTok or Reel. We did it on both. I love Costco. I love Costco as much as the next guy. But my love for them ends when we hit the pet aisle. And it is because though Costco tries to provide good quality products, I feel they have not done their due diligence when it comes to pet food. They sell a heck of a lot of pedigree. Their Kirkland brand is made by Diamond Pet Foods. Diamond Pet Foods has had some of the most recalls out there. They are not known for a clean and hygienic factory. aside from that, the food looks good on paper. I don't know where I'm supposed to air quote that. It looks good on paper. When you break that down, and we did a live about this. We called it Tricks of the Bag. So you'd be able to find that on our YouTube channel. But we called it Tricks of the Bag. And that is one of the things that in the Kirkland food at Costco, how did I get onto this tangent? Anyways, okay, I'm going to talk about this. So they do, their little trick of the bag is what's called ingredient splitting. And so when you look at their lamb and rice formula, for example, first ingredient, I believe, is lamb. And then the next, it's either the next three or the next, or the last three in the first five, are a different type of rice. Brown rice, white rice, rice bran. That's all rice. That is all, oh, hello, baby.
Hi.
That is all rice. So, very quickly here, if lamb made up 10% of that bag, and those three different rice options made up 5% each, and they weren't actually splitting the ingredient, and they just said, this is our rice in this bag, that becomes 15%, which then moves to the front of the panel in the ingredient panel, and now we're actually serving a bag of rice and a little bit of lamb.
Featuring lamb.
Featuring lamb, yes, featuring lamb on the side. So I hear you when we actually don't have to have that heartbreak in here. We don't have to see people buy crappy food because we don't sell crappy food. And I'm going to do another TikTok about that, about why we sell the brands we sell. So I don't have to have the heartbreak in my own store, but I do know that when I go to Big Box or to Costco's or to Walmart's and I see people rolling out with their 5 bags of pedigree, my heart hurts a lot and I cry a little bit on the inside. And yeah, I wish that I could like stop them. And, well, sometimes I have. But also like, on the back of our shirts, it's probably backwards for you guys, but it says, ask me why we don't carry your brand. And I have been stopped in the big box stores and they say, can you tell me about pet nutrition? And I'm like, well, yes, I can. And so then my 15-minute grocery trip turns into an hour-and-a-half long discussion about pet nutrition. Okay. I already bought milk, this and omega-3, but I'm looking for homemade meals to make help. Thank you so much. It's amazing that you can support everything I looked up. Awesome, Ben. You know what? Just find yourself a recipe. I would recommend Recipes by Dr. Becker. She's got a ton out there. So if you're going to home cook, follow Recipes by Dr. Becker and you will make sure that you're feeding complete and balanced. I fed Premium and Variety and now my 3-year-old has kidney disease and has to be on Hills KD. So, Abigail, that could have been a genetic thing because it's unlikely that quality pet food would cause organ issues, but the vet that is telling you they must be on Hills KD, if it was me, would work with a holistic veterinarian, and there is a holistic veterinarian association that you can go through, or even Dr. Katie, oh my goodness, I just lost her, the natural pet doctor, there we go, sorry. Dr. Katie will do consults over the phone. These are holistic veterinarians who are known for helping our animals' whole body, not treating a symptom. Because I'm going to tell you right now, when you're feeding Hills, it's, what a good segue, Abigail. Bailey, grab the jar. All right, you guys. This is 5 cups of traditional kibble. Prescription kibble falls into the category of economic kibble. Not price-wise, but nutrition-wise. Economic kibble. It does not provide a ton of nutrition. And what it does provide is a whole heck of a lot of sugar. So this is 5 cups of kibble. This is 3 cups of sugar. This is how much sugar is in this much kibble. Why does that happen, you say? You're saying, Carly, they don't put sugar in kibble. And you're right, they don't. But what they do put is starch. They need starch. We need some sort of a starch, which is referred to in the industry as a binder, that will hold the food into these little tiny pellets of ick. Okay? Pellets of ick. That is,
I like it.
That is what they are. So we need a starch to hold the pellets of ick in their little form. But that starch, when eaten by cats and dogs, turns into carbs. Cats and dogs have no biological requirement for carbs. When they eat carbs, carbs turn to sugar. And sugar is what feeds disease. This is why we say don't feed processed food. This is why we say feed fresh, whole food, because we eliminate those carbs. They have no biological requirement for carbs. The naysayers of fresh food out there will say carbs are a perfectly good source of energy for cats and dogs. And they're not wrong. What, did I just say that? Yeah,
You said that.
I said
you
that.
went there.
They're not wrong. But my question would be, is it the most appropriate source of energy for carnivores? And the answer is absolutely not. Fat is where they get their energy source from. Feeding them full of carbs, yeah, it'll give them energy, but it's a sugar high. Go give your kid a Slurpee. See what happens. They have energy until they crash. Right? So not the best source of energy for your child is a Slurpee either. Where was I going with this?
We're talking about kidney disease.
And prescription food. Okay, so that sugar, Abigail, when we're feeding hills, we're feeding a crap ton, anywhere from 50 to 70% carbs to the animal who doesn't need carbs. And their body also, the kidneys have to flush out the ick, right? The pellets of ick. The kidneys have to filter and flush out the toxins and whatever else is coming into their body. So this is why I'm saying I would work with a holistic vet to find a diet that you could make for your pup and get off that hills. It's made with low quality ingredients. It's made with high amounts of starch, aka sugar. And it's harder for the body to process. This is my analogy that I use with our customers in store all the time. If we feed nothing but traditional or economical kibble to our animals for a lifetime, that is equivalent to you and I eating nothing but McDonald's for a lifetime. It is a highly ultra-processed meal. And now we're expecting to live our best lives eating a highly ultra-processed diet. Not going to happen. When we move to a premium processed diet, because it doesn't matter, even if it's a premium kibble, even if it's the best kibble on the market, it is still processed. We cannot get away from it. It is the way kibble is manufactured. But when we move to a premium kibble, it is equivalent to us now opting for a sub instead of McDonald's. We can see what's in there. We can improve our sub. We can add a glass of milk. We can add a fruit cup. We can add a veggie tray. We could add a salad. We can improve that sub. And we know what's in there. We built it, right? We told them the things to put in there. It is still a processed meal. Premium kibble is the same. It's better quality ingredients. We can see what's in there. They're not hiding details from us, and we can improve it. We can add fresh whole foods. We can add fruit. We can add vegetables. We can add raw meat. We can add goat's milk. We can add bone broth. We can add wet food. We can improve that processed, but better for us processed meal by adding things to it.
It's the lesser of two evils.
It is the lesser. And now, when we're feeding a processed diet, we can replace 20% of the dry pellets of ick. I'm going to make that a thing. I'm going to make it hashtag pellets of ick. We can replace 20% of our kibble with fresh, whole food. A lot of people are intimidated by raw feeding because they just don't know enough, or they've been encouraged to highly avoid raw at all costs because of all the disease and the bacteria and all of the wives' tales that are out there and mistruths, untruths, lies that are
false
out there.
information.
The what is the? It doesn't matter. Lies. All of the lies that are out there about raw feeding. So then people are like, I better stick to dog food. Kibble's not dog food, you guys. Kibble is a man-made solution to a man-made problem. We have that TikTok out there, and it's where did kibble come from? And so I'm going to very quickly tell you that where I say kibble was a man-made solution to a man-made problem is back in the day, before all of our lifetimes. It has been more than 80 years. In the 40s, before the war, pets used to eat fresh, whole, wet food. Kibble was not a thing. In the 40s, before the war, during the war, there was a ration on meat and a ration on metal. A ration on meat for soldiers and metal for bullets. And all of a sudden, the wet pet food manufacturers of the day went, holy crap, how do we put wet food in a bag? And you don't. And kibble was born. So kibble, for over 80 years, our entire lifetime, we have believed that this is dog food. It is not dog food. It is what used to be food. Maybe not.
It's an excuse, like a poor excuse for food.
It's convenience is what it is. It's convenience for us because dry, stable, shelf-stable food is much easier to haul around, move around, doesn't weigh as much as wet food. And it was convenient at the time, and it was necessary at the time. So I am off on a tangent. Apparently we're doing Q&A today, you guys. Okay. How do I find the dog food quiz? Carolyn is asking. So,
Rate my kibble?
we have two things on our website. There is a pet food quiz on there, which is literally just going to give you some information about the pet food industry. And there is also a what grade is my kibble assessment. This is just a PDF right now, you guys. This was a 3 a.m. Carly's awake and thinking about how do we educate pet parents. And I came up with our kibble assessment, which allows you to take any dry kibble out there and basically sit down with the worksheet, fill in your numbers on paper. It's not electronic yet, you guys. And you can figure out what grade is your kibble. The only grade that we want to serve ever is a grade A. B's and C's might have cut it in high school, but they do not cut it when it comes to our pets' nutrition. Krista, I live for feeding raw, have seen so much positives with my German Shepherd switching her to opposed to kibble. Yeah, this is what so many pet parents say. They had no idea. And even just, okay, I'm going to use us as an example. And I use us because we can relate to our own nutrition a little easier than we can relate to our pets' nutrition. When it comes to human nutrition, we know like the tip of the iceberg. When it comes to pet nutrition, we know even less. So, but we can relate a little bit more to human nutrition. So if, again, Bailey and I decide, okay, well, we eat McDonald's 7 days a week. That's what we're going to do. And then we don't feel so good, and our skin is greasy, and our hair stinks, and we don't feel good, and we don't have a lot of energy, and we start
We're just
to think,
gross.
yeah,
We're just gross.
We're gross. We stink like Ronald McDonald. And we start to do our makeup like his. No,
It's a whole look.
But we start to figure, okay, you know what? Maybe it's what we're eating. And so instead of eating McDonald's 7 days a week, we decide, well, on Sundays, we're going to cook. We're going to cook healthy, homemade diets. Just by doing that 1 day a week, we have already improved our diet. We have to maintain that. We have to keep doing that every Sunday, healthy, homemade, cooked diets, but we have improved our diet. Then we go, you know what, on Sundays and Monday mornings, I feel really good. Maybe Tuesdays we should start making homemade diets, make homemade healthy cooked food. And so now, out of 7 days a week, 2 of them we do healthy, homemade, home-cooked diets. We have improved our diet again. So where I'm going with this is with our pets. when they're eating a completely ultra-processed diet day in and day out, they're eating their McDonald's 7 days a week. If we can improve that diet, oh, this little dude. Sorry, easily distracted by dogs, you guys.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi there.
Hi, I remember your face. You're so cute.
If we can do that with our pets, instead of eating that ultra-processed dry diet 7 days a week, 1 day a week we add fresh whole food. We take away 20% of that ultra-processed diet and we replace it with fresh whole food. And now we start doing that 2 days a week, or 3 days a week, or 4 days a week. Anytime we can take away the processed food up to 20% and add in fresh whole foods, we are improving our pet's diet. And where I was going with the whole raw thing is a lot of people are very intimidated by raw. What we say is any raw is better than no raw. So it doesn't have to be an all or nothing. And I would hate for you as a pet parent to fear raw so much that you're like, never doing that, because you don't know how. Ask the questions. We're happy to answer questions and get you moving in the right direction to move away from ultra-processed food and start feeding more fresh whole food. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. The only reason that we carry a kibble in our store, which is a premium kibble, something that I can sleep at night when I know you've left with it, the only reason that we sell kibble is because 80% of pet parents still feed kibble. The good news is that in 2017, that number was 90%. 90% of pet parents still fed kibble in 2017. So 5 years later, 10% of the pet parent population have changed from an ultra-processed dry kibble diet to a more fresh whole food diet. I expect that that number will continue to change. So the reason that we have kibble is because we know that the guy who serves kibble today is not likely to walk in here and just automatically go to the freezer and buy raw because, hi there, because they've decided that, well, I'm just done with kibble. It doesn't happen that way. So we want to make sure that if people are feeding kibble, that they feed a quality premium kibble, and we educate them on what makes the difference between kibbles. And slowly but surely we can start to incorporate less processed options until we can move to that fully fresh whole diet. Okay, genuine question. This is a genuine question, not hate, but why do majority of vets not recommend feeding a raw diet if it's biologically best? So, great question, absolutely great question. And this, you guys, my issue is not with our vets. Not at all. My issue is with the guys who teach the vets. The guys who teach the vets are the same guys who make the food that is sold in their clinics. So the Royal Canins, the Hills, the Purinas of the world, those are the guys that provide our vets with their nutrition training. And I say nutrition training because it is 1 day of biased sales training. When vets go to school, the purpose of their education is to learn how to diagnose and treat disease, but they are not provided education on preventing disease. And they certainly aren't provided information on biologically appropriate nutrition, because that is not what Royal Canin, Hills, or Purina makes. They make an ultra-processed, low-quality, crappy ingredient filled with garbage food. Again, not, my issue is not with our vets. But you have to think too, if you went to your MD and you said, man, like my hair is greasy, my skin smells, like I don't feel good, I got no energy, I think it's my diet. Your general practitioner, your GP, your MD is going to say to you, go talk to a nutritionist. Like, I'm here to treat and diagnose disease. I am not here to tell you what to eat in the Canadian feeding guideline. That's a nutritionist's job. vets have been given the onerous task of like, you are everything and all things animal, and that includes nutrition. But the unfortunate thing is they just don't get proper nutrition training. There are lots of vets who do support raw feeding. For the most part, those vets are going to be holistic. Those vets have gone above and beyond their existing schooling to actually learn and go, holy crap, I can't believe I used to recommend that food now that I know things about food. I work with 3 different clinics in our city, and I love the vets that I see at all of them. One of them is holistic, 2 of them are not, but they are much more open-minded. And when I talk to one clinic in particular about food, they automatically say, that's not us, that's you, we defer to you, so you know more than we do when it comes to that. They acknowledge that. And I am not saying that I am a vet, I am not saying that I know more than a vet, I do not. But my focus is all on nutrition, and so I am a pet nutrition junkie. And I continue to learn from some of the world's best holistic veterinarians about the best things that we can do for our pets when it comes to their nutrition. Do I like Nature's Logic distinction? Okay, so Nature's Logic has 2 different options. One is meal-based and one is meat-based. I like the meat-based one. The one thing that I don't like about it is that they use millet. And millet is essentially a bird seed. So I think that they could probably replace that millet because I can't find any benefits that millet offers. So I think they could probably replace that millet with a better ingredient. But they're, hi there. Their meat-based diets, yes, I like. The meal-based, not so much. What do you think of Munster dog food? I have never heard of Munster dog food. I'm not familiar with it. If that is a dry option, you can go to our website on the bottom of every page on our website, and you can click on what grade is my kibble. And again, you're just going to plunk in the information that we ask for. So you're going to sit down with your bag and you're going to answer the questions based on what our assessment is asking for. You add up your points and it will tell you whether or not that is a grade A, B, C, or D kibble. Remember, A's are the only things we want to see. Oh boy, sorry, I just... I didn't realize you guys were asking so many questions, sorry, and okay. Okay, best food to buy and best food for a boxer. So we kind of went over this a little bit before. It doesn't matter what the breed is. The best thing we can do for our pets is a biologically appropriate diet, which means fresh, whole foods. I'm so happy I got into this TikTok. The doctor actually told me to start Hill's IDV. No. I can't help it with my face, you guys. That just happens. When people talk about, and let me be very clear too. In my back pocket, I have access to an executive from Hill's, used to be at Hill's, who formulated their food. I can ask them any question. I can ask him any question I want to about the food. Not a food we want to feed. Like I said, prescription food falls into the economic category of kibble because of the quality of ingredients that it starts with. There is no medicine in prescription food. So we pay a premium price at our vet's clinic to buy the prescription food. The prescription food. It is not a prescription. There is no medicine in a prescription food. It is not tested for any medicinal properties to prove that it can do what it says it does. The only thing that a prescription, I'm hot about this, you guys. My ranty pants are on because prescription food drives me. The only thing that a prescription food offers is high digestibility. What does this mean? This means that if I had to go to the hospital and get some sort of an operation, what are they going to feed me for the next 3 days that I'm in the hospital? Jello, right? Because it's highly digestible. I'm going to keep it down, and at least we're putting something into my body. But is Jello the thing that I should sustain my life for the rest of it? Should I eat Jello for a lifetime just because I could keep it down after I went to the doctor?
You could, but you probably wouldn't be very healthy.
I likely wouldn't be very healthy. That is the only thing that a prescription food gives us. Again, we did a TikTok about this quite a while back, but there are 5 major lawsuits against prescription food, pet food manufacturers right now for deceiving the public. Because we are paying premium rates, we have to go to a doctor to get this prescription food that has no medicine in it. It's not tested medicinally, and the only thing it offers, is high digestibility. You know what? One more thing. If it's a prescription food for organ health, kidney, liver, whatever, it's got higher salt content than what a traditional food or a non-prescription food would have. Why? Because that salt makes the animal thirsty, and the animal drinks more and flushes the organs, and then everybody goes, oh, it must be the vet food. No, it isn't. We could have given him a salt lick, and he would have got thirsty and drank lots of water too. So those are the 2 things that prescription food offers: high digestibility and more salt if it's an organ-related food.
They create more of a band-aid than anything. You're not actually
100%.
addressing any of the issues. It's band-aiding the problem so that you think that you're doing what's best and that you're fixing the issues, but at the end of the day, it's really not fixing any of the issues that you're having.
It's a vicious circle too, right? Because we go to our vets who have been trained to treat and diagnose disease, and the 2 tools that they are given to treat and diagnose, or to treat the disease, the 2 tools are meds and prescription food. So you go to the vet and they go, yeah, he's itchy all the time. We'll just put him on this hyperallergenic food and I'll give him a shot. That'll last 6 weeks. We've just put a Band-Aid on. So now we've suppressed the immune system with this steroid shot to make him stop itching. And for 6 weeks, the dog is like, woohoo! Well, it's just like when you take NyQuil when you have a cold, right? You temporarily feel like, oh yeah, I've beat this. And the next day you're like, oh God, I feel like death again. Because the NyQuil was masking the symptoms. So that's what the shot, Epiquil or whatever they call it, that's the shot to mask the symptoms. But we didn't fix the problem. And the problem oftentimes starts here when we're feeding this much sugar all day, all the time. Ultra processed meals, we're causing the problem on the inside. We've got to fix it from the inside because we can't fix it from the outside.
We're also then not addressing what if it's an allergy? What if it's a sensitivity? We're just saying, overall, they're itchy, here's a shot, here's some hypoallergenic food, and we're not actually getting to the root cause of what is wrong with your pet. If it's an allergy, that is a pretty easy thing to be able to deal with. We know that we just don't feed them that anymore. There's all natural remedies to be giving to your pets if there's allergies. There's so many things that we can do that are better for them than injecting them with steroids on a regular basis.
Yeah, because in 6 weeks, when the steroid wears off and you're back at the vet going, holy crap, he's itchy again, we'll give him another shot. And this continues, this cycle continues, and then the vet says, well, we'll try a different food. The majority of prescription foods are also chicken-based, and your dog is eating nothing but chicken. Of course they're going to develop some sort of an intolerance or sensitivity, but we just keep ramming chicken down their throat. Nothing is getting fixed. We are slapping Band-Aids. So one of the things that we talk about when pet parents come into us is, are you looking for a Band-Aid or are you looking for a solution? Because a solution starts with looking at the diet. If we're just going to continue to feed ultra-processed, low-quality ingredient food, we're probably going to have a tough time fixing any problems there. You can't keep eating McDonald's all the time if you're sick and your body is rejecting the food. So we have to start nourishing the body with whole, fresh food. They say it to us our entire lives. Less processed food, more fresh, whole food. It is the same thing for our pets. Awesome info. Thank you, Valerie. Speaking of shots, how do you feel about titer tests? I'd like to ask my vet for one and not get my cat.
We were just talking about this today.
All right, you guys, titer tests are one of my favorite things to talk about. That has nothing to do with nutrition, but it doesn't matter, Krista, because that's an awesome question. And vaccination season is upon us. So what is a titer test, first of all? I'm all about analogies, you guys. This comes from 20 years of teaching, I guess. So, what is a titer test? If I walk out and I take a look at my car, hello. If I walk out and I take a look at my car, I have no idea how much gas is in my tank by looking at my car. I have to look at the gas gauge, okay? I have to start the car, take a look at the gas gauge to see how much gas is in the car. Or in the tank, sorry. And when I see that the tank is full, I know that I don't need gas. A titer test is our gas gauge. I cannot tell by looking at my dog if he possesses immunity to the different things that we vaccinate for. But when I get a titer test, which tests the antibodies in the blood. So a titer test simply means that the vet will draw blood and then they test the antibodies to understand if immunity exists for the diseases that we are trying to vaccinate for. Most animals are fully vaccinated for life at 4 months of age. Okay, so they're going to get their first vaccine and then they're going to get a booster. They're going to get their first vaccine at about 6 to 8 weeks, and then they're going to get a booster, and they might get one more booster at about 16 weeks, 4 months. And they are pretty much vaccinated for life. So for me, Zaner is vaccinated, and all I do is titer test now. It doesn't mean I don't go to my vet. I still go to my vet for our annual appointment. I want his eyes and his heart and his lungs and all the things checked. And so I still go every year for my annual appointment, but we are not getting vaccines. We are getting titer tests. I'm checking my gas gauge, okay? He is a healthy, grown adult, and I'm checking my gas gauge, and his titer test comes back that he's immune every single time. Because why? Because he's a healthy adult who already got his vaccines as a baby. So we are 110%, Krista, 150%. 1,000,000,000% on board with titers and completely 1,000,000,000,000,000,000% against over vaccination. I am not saying that you do not vaccinate. I am not saying that. You need to vaccinate when they are at a very young age, but by the age of 4 months, when they have received their vaccines and their 2 boosters, your animal is likely vaccinated for life, okay? My vet and I talk about this all the time. They tell you that rabies is something that you have to do every 3 years. And my vet has said to me, you know as well as I do that rabies lasts far more than 3 years. Yeah, like a lifetime, right? Like a lifetime. So if you've ever heard of Dr. John Robb, who Mars is currently suing, he has been lobbying the government since the 70s. With his project called Protect the Pets, because he says we are over-vaccinating the animals. Over-vaccination can cause a lot of problems with our pets. This is very disturbing, but I'm going to tell you this. With cats, they learned when we vaccinate, over years of decades of vaccinating, they learned that many cats actually developed cancer in the spot where they were getting vaccinated. So they used to vaccinate cats up in the shoulder. And they found that these cats kept getting these cancerous tumors and developing cancer, and in often cases had to be put down. So they thought, well, why don't we put the vaccine in the back leg, and then if the cat gets cancer, we can just amputate the leg. And now, a lot of times they give cats their vaccines in their tail. Because then if the cancer develops in the tail, we can just amputate the tail. Like, amputation, because we know we're going to create tumors, cancerous tumors, are not the solution. Titer tests. 100% titer tests over vaccinating. Sorry, you guys. Total rant. Okay. And we talked about that. It's harder than it. No. My vet told me my dog, 7 pounds, does not need a lot of protein compared to large breed dogs because it's harder on the kidneys, but then how much protein does he need for a small dog? No. So the quality, again, we talked about this earlier, the quality of the protein is what is important, not the percentage. Your dog, 7 pounds or 77 pounds, is a carnivore. They eat meat. Now, there's 2 different types of carnivores. There's dogs, which are facultative carnivores, and there are cats, which are obligate carnivores. An obligate carnivore means they need meat to survive. That's your kitties. Your dog is a facultative carnivore. That means that he can survive on non-meat options, but is designed to eat meat. This is why people are like, oh, feed them kibble. Who cares if they eat corn? Well, they can eat that, but that's not what they were intended to eat. So, percentage of protein, not the issue. Quality of protein is what we want to look at, again, regardless of size or what type of dog. A good rant from Tammy says, yes, I know, I'm ranty pants today. Do you have any recommendations I can add to make my pup's poo firmer? He's currently on open farm. Yep.
Sprouted seeds. We love sprouted seeds. I talk to everyone who comes in here about the sprouted seeds because they are amazing and they help firm up that poop.
So this is, I know it's backwards for you guys. This is Carnivore's Flora4. They have 2 different options. And as Bailey said, these are their ground organic sprouted seeds. Zaner gets this every day in every meal. He eats twice a day, and he gets it in every meal twice a day. I put it in my smoothies. This is a fantastic source of fiber, so that's what's going to help us firm the stool. But it is also a fantastic prebiotic, probiotic, and a digestive enzyme. So this is, and the other one includes broccoli and chia sprouts.
Yeah.
In addition to the 4 ground organic sprouts that are in this. This is fantastic. Now, if carnivore is not available in your area, you could add pure pumpkin. Not pumpkin pie filling, don't make that mistake. Pure pumpkin. Organic if you can find it, but if you can't, pure pumpkin can also help because that is a fibrous vegetable that will help us firm the stool.
You look like you want your like.
What are you waiting for, Lee?
I don't know. I want to jump in, but I don't know.
Anyone just jump in out of nowhere and be crazy.
That's
How do you know how much to
That was
take
really
out and not overfeed? Okay, I think what Manny is asking, when I'm saying remove 20% of your ultra processed food and replace that with fresh whole food. So again, if I was feeding my dog a cup a day, I'm going to take out 1/5 of that cup and I'm going to replace that. We can't really overdo it with too many fruits and vegetables. However, we're not going to have this heaping pile of fruits and vegetables with some kibble sprinkled on top. So you're going to, one, if you're introducing fresh whole foods for the first time to your pet, gradually, because we don't want to cause any tummy upset. And if you've been with us for this entire live, I was chatting earlier about if we ate nothing but chicken and broccoli for 6 months, eating steak on the 7th month would hurt. If your dog has eaten nothing but ultra-processed dog food for his life, and then we throw a bunch of fresh whole food at him, he may love it, but his tummy won't. So we have to gradually incorporate new additions to the bowl, making sure that we don't upset the tummy. So you're just going to replace, so again, it's going to be kind of, 1, we're going to go gradual, but 2, it's also going to be size appropriate options. So with Zaner, my 5-pounder, when he gets banana, he you know, if I cut a chunk of banana that thick and I cut it up into a bunch of little pieces, like that's how much banana he's getting. But my German Shepherds and my Rottweilers, they could each have a banana because it's size appropriate, right? Same thing with Zaner when I do strawberries. I take a strawberry and I probably cut, you know, a third to a half of a strawberry up into little tiny pieces, and that's what he gets. Blueberries, he gets 4 or 5 blueberries in a meal. For his egg every day, he gets a quail egg. He doesn't get a chicken egg because a chicken egg is about 70 calories and a 5-pound dog needs about 187 calories a day. So if I gave him a chicken egg,
Almost all of
yeah,
his
that's like
calories
half
a day.
his calories for the day, right? I could never do a duck egg with him because they're like 220 calories. So a duck egg would last Zaner like 4 days. So he gets a quail egg because it's size appropriate. Now, my German Shepherds, my Rottweilers, absolutely I'm going to huck a whole chicken egg in there. They can afford that 70 calories a day.
Same with my cats. I have my sister's dog comes over, 60-pound dog. My cats each get a little quail egg. Oh, Dixie, here's some eggs. One just, it doesn't seem like enough for her as a big dog, but the kitties, little bits.
You know, and eggs, honestly, you guys, regardless of what you're feeding, whether you are feeding ultra-processed or you are feeding fresh whole foods, adding an egg, eggs are Mother Nature's food. They are made by nature. They are complete whole foods. And that means you can eat the whole thing too, okay? It's like goat's milk. Goat's milk comes from nature. We could sustain on goat's milk. We can sustain on eggs. So adding an egg to your pet's diet every day, we used to like to say that for less than 10 cents a day, but inflation.
No?
For less than $1 a day. Well, I don't know about here. Hawaii, if anybody is in Hawaii, I heard 18 eggs were $18.
Oh my
That's a
God.
buck
Oh my
an egg.
gosh.
Eek. I think we're still getting a flat of eggs for, I don't know. Oh yeah, you wouldn't know. What the, never mind. Anyways, you can add an egg, regardless of what you're feeding, you can add an egg to your pet's diet every day, and they will actually get all of the nutrients that they need to kind of complete whatever meal they are eating. So that's why Zaner gets quail eggs every day. I can feed him the shell. He's not a shell guy. So he would rather have the insides of the eggs. And, well, let's see here. How shall I ask this question? If you are going to serve an egg, what is the best way to serve an egg? You're supposed to know the answer. Put it in the comments if you know the best way to serve an egg. And by best, I mean your pet will get the biggest nutritional bang for their buck. So there's different ways to serve eggs: scrambled, sunny side up, raw, hard boiled, soft boiled, what are other, poached. Put it in the comments what you think is the best way, and we're going to go back to that.
Bailey and I are looking up at our TV. We're waiting for the egg infographic to come up.
We have eggs on the TV that we tell people all the time what's the best way.
Sound weird at all. We have eggs on the TV.
We have eggs on the TV, yeah.
Whatever.
I love this and your way of thinking. I wish I could join your team. Dog food is my passion. Well, MMW Bull Terriers, I fire these two every day.
Yes.
At least once a day.
Minimum.
All of them. Doesn't matter what they
I
do.
think we got fired like 3 times each yesterday.
I think so.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. They keep showing up though. But, you know, if you're ever in the area,
Wow, we're getting replaced live. We're live being replaced right now.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
love, well, then I have it documented. So, I love the what grade is my kibble PDF so helpful. That's awesome. Thoughts on Farmina? Okay, so you guys, my thoughts on Farmina is they're almost really good. They're almost really good.
So close.
There's 2 harmful ingredients that they use in some of their recipes, and that's the part that I don't like, because if it's in some, when and how is it going to, like, how long will it take to get into the others? So the 2 ingredients that are harmful that they use are the synthetic vitamin K.
Boo.
Very big boo. This is proven to cause organ damage when eaten extensively, and when you feed it every day, that's extensive. So I don't like that. they also use animal fat. And animal fat, we don't know where that animal fat comes from. That's the problem with an unnamed protein source. So when you look at a bag of food that says animal fat, meat meal, bone meal, we don't know the source animal that protein source came from. So in the pet industry, there is what is called 4D meats. 4D. Dead, diseased, dying, disabled. That's what that's total booze. And that's what the 4Ds stand for. So that could mean roadkill. That could mean a diseased farm animal. That could mean a dead zoo animal. That could mean euthanized pets.
Extra boo.
Extra huge boo. That is how the euthanasia drug ends up in pet foods when it's tested, because euthanized pets are in there. Supermarket meats that are bad for us, they have gone spoiled. The supermarket didn't sell them. Styrofoam, plastic wrap and all, into the pet food. So when a protein source is not named, we don't know what that protein source is. So the fact that they use animal fat is bad because it can be a harmful ingredient. It's definitely controversial because we don't know what that animal fat is from. Hi there.
I'm good, thanks. How are you? I'm good.
The third ingredient that they use, which is considered controversial, and often found in prescription weight loss food, well, all weight loss foods, I shouldn't say just prescription, all weight loss foods. And Farmina has a weight loss formula. It's called powdered cellulose. So if you look at the ingredients on your bag, if you are feeding weight management food, you will see powdered cellulose. Get rid of it. We can help them lose weight by feeding quality nutrition that is not filled with powdered cellulose, because powdered cellulose is simply sawdust. So the reason that weight management foods use powdered cellulose is because the animal eats less food, feels full because they're full of sawdust, and loses weight. And everybody goes, oh, it's the food. No, it isn't. They're full of sawdust. So we don't want to see powdered cellulose in our animals' food. And so those are the three ingredients. I really liked Farmina when I first found it, and then when I started doing more investigation, these are the three things that I have issues with Farmina. Am I flapping?
But can't see you. You're so far over.
They can see me. I'm dancing to my favorite song. If
I
Nicole
was
is
gonna
watching,
say, it's your favorite song playing.
I hate that I love the song Flowers by Miley Cyrus, you guys. I hate it. Is it possible to feed your dog fully balanced and raw, making it yourself? 100% it is. 100%. It's going to take time. It's going to take knowledge. But there are recipes out there by holistic vets that will allow you to follow their recipe and ensure you are feeding a
I
complete.
don't know, but it's fixed. It
Okay.
does that sometimes.
Sorry,
recently.
Facebook. I'm honestly learning so much from this live. It's crazy. That's good, Marie. And good day to you too, Victoria. My aunt is saying, move over some so we can see your beautiful face.
See, I told you the Facebook people couldn't see you.
She also said poached. Okay. So yes, you can, but you want to follow a recipe. Okay. We asked you guys to put in their best way to serve an egg to get the nutritional bang for your buck. And I'm going to tell you, Bailey?
Soft boiled or sunny side up?
So the reason is because so poached would kind of work too, but I think it would have to be soft poached.
Yeah.
Because the best way to get the biggest nutritional bang for your buck when feeding eggs to your pet is to have a raw yolk and a gently cooked white. So when the white is just slightly cooked and the yolk is still raw, that will give the biggest nutritional boost. Fear not, if you are like me and struggle with toast in the kitchen and are like, I don't know how to soft boil an egg. You do not have to cook your eggs to make them nutritious. They are nutritious in any format. But research says that the most nutritious, biggest nutritious bang for our buck is raw yolk, gently cooked white. So whether that's poached, softly poached, sunny side up or softly boiled. And then of course cooled. We don't want to feed the furry guys hot eggs. Zaner like knows when the eggs are getting cooked. He gets his scrambled because that's the only way I know how to cook eggs. But he knows, and he like demands the eggs. And I keep telling him all the time, I'm like, they don't cook no faster when you're yelling at me. But he knows, they know.
He would disagree with you on that one.
Right? Okay, we talked about Farmina. I think
This
these
is
are...
a day of questions.
Yeah.
Loving
Okay. Yeah, so MMW Bull Terriers, who is your replacement, Bailey, is worked at a shelter and had vet students come adopt, and it was WSU, and I'd educate them on kibble, and they were shocked because they were not taught, and their class was 3 months long. It's because, like I said, it's the guys who make the food, go and teach our vets, and then sell it in their clinics that they own too, by the way. Over 2,500 clinics in the US are owned by Mars Pet Care, the guys who make Pedigree and Royal Canin. They own the clinics, they make the food, they teach the vets, and then they sell their food in the clinic. It is a total conflict of interest. It would be like McDonald's teaching our doctors about their food and selling it at the grocery store. Like it's a
doesn't
total
make any sense.
total conflict of interest. Okay, thoughts on rotational I hate when it does that. Hang on, you guys. Thoughts on rotational feeding? 110%. We agree with rotational feeding. And we talked about this a little bit earlier if you weren't here, so I'm just going to repeat this again. We want to rotate proteins, brands, food types, and supplements. Okay, so we want
All of the things.
all of the things are rotating and making our diet as diverse as possible. Diversity is key for a healthy, good diet. Your staff is amazing, by the way. Aw, you guys save your job today.
Today! So much!
I'll find another reason to fire them. Thoughts on We Feed Raw? I'm not familiar with that.
I have never heard of that before.
Not familiar with that. I feed Open Farm, but have been reading that it is not WSAVA. What is WSAVA? Okay, so that's the World Small Animal Veterinary Association. WSAVA doesn't, they get involved on the prescription side, the big pet food guys. All other pet food manufacturers look to adhere to AFCO certification. Now, or AFCO standards. AFCO is a non-government, non-regulating, non-dictating body of the guys who look after pet feed.
That was a lot of non.
They are nons, and they non let anybody in either. So America has AFCO, and that is how pet foods in the States have to be formulated to AFCO standards. Canada is the Wild West. We have no standards. However, most pet food manufacturers still adhere to AFCO standards. But it's not required in Canada. And we don't have a governing body or any type of a non-body who will come and say, you must adhere. Europe...
You should take that up. That should be
Oh.
your side hustle.
Right.
Is telling all the people your food is not meeting the standards.
No. I just kick sales guys out of this store when they come in with crappy food. No, Europe has the highest standards, and I wish that all countries that manufacture pet food would adhere to at least European standards. So the WSAVA is the World Small Animal Veterinary Association, and again, they get involved more on the big pet food manufacturer guys, which... Okay, we did a TikTok about this too, about feeding trials, because you're going to hear this a lot of times that, you have to get food that is scientifically tested and scientifically proven, and feeding trials. Feeding trials, you guys, are the biggest antiquated joke out there. 8 dogs, a feeding trial has to start with 8 dogs, and 2 can leave for non-food related issues. So that means we're left with 6 dogs. And as long as those 6 dogs collectively do not lose or gain 10% of their body weight after eating the food for 6 months, they consider that a success. That is a feeding trial. They do about, I think, 4 different blood markers in addition to the whole not losing or gaining 10% of the collective body weight, but feeding trials are a joke.
Doesn't seem very accurate.
No, and you know, you could eat styrofoam for 6 months and probably not die. The other thing though is when you have successfully, as a pet food manufacturer, when you have successfully passed a feeding trial, Royal Canin, Hills, Purina, you can then go and make a prescription diet that gets a free pass. You don't have to do anything with that food because you already passed the first one, so we don't have to make you do that again. So science did that, and science and scientifically studied and researched, and I don't have to scientifically research an apple to know that it is good for me. So why do people put so much stock in the fact that if your food is scientifically tested, it must be good? We don't have to scientifically test real food. We have to scientifically test manufactured pellets of ick to make sure that they won't kill animals. That's what's being scientifically tested.
What's her name for
Pellets, kibble.
Pellets of ick.
Pellets of ick.
Pellets
I like
of
it.
ick. Pellets of ick. I'm gonna
Hashtag that.
yeah, I'm gonna TM it. Okay. We kind of answered those. We did that.
You did it again.
It's not me. It's TikTok.
Definitely not user error.
No, not at all.
No. Do you know of any good courses on pet nutrition that it's not run by the big 3? Yes. Cameo. So, Dogs Naturally is a good start. Dogs Naturally, they started as a magazine. They now have Dogs Naturally University. They've got a variety of different courses. Of course, one is pet nutrition. There's raw nutrition. There's advanced canine nutrition. There's herbalism training. There's essential oil training. They've got a lot of good stuff. They work with a bunch of different experts to develop these courses. The one did I tell you guys that I was going to take this course?
Yes.
Yeah. It's through the the College of Holistic Veterinary Medicine. And it's all about nutrition, and it's taught by holistic vets. So you have axed the big 3, and that would be a great course that you could take. Thank you so much for answering all the questions. Are you able to look into We Feed Raw and let us know what you think? We can do some research for sure. I'm a previous Pet Value employee, so this is very educational. All your information. That's awesome. You know, we hear that
A lot.
a lot. When we hire, we do hiring a little bit different here because it's always backwards to you guys, but we are a different breed of pet store. So we do an open house format for our hiring, which is essentially we post a job just like anybody else does, and then we invite all applicants, with the exception of anybody who has like glaring red flags, like they live on another continent or whatever. They don't get invited because they probably couldn't make it. But we invite everybody to come into an open house format where we do some interactive stuff with them and get to know them a little bit more. And then we kind of tell them all about us. And in the past, when we have had former pet store workers in the city, we learned lots of things, and they usually tell us that in our 1 hour open house to hire new people, they learned more about nutrition than they did working 6 months at another pet store. So we are very, 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 very focused on nutrition. It is our passion. 1-year-old dog has been on open farm since he was 7 months, but he recently stopped eating it. Any tips? Okay, so first of all, he is 1. We would need to know how big he is, because if he is a big guy, he should be eating puppy food, formulated puppy food, for a minimum of 18 months, and depending on how big he is, sometimes up to 24 months. So if he's been eating it since he was 7 months, I'm hoping he was eating the puppy formula. But he also might be getting bored of the same food because the open farm only has one type of puppy with the same protein, so he might be getting bored. But what we always recommend is, even though you're going to feed that premium puppy base, that we add some bone broth, some goat's milk, some freeze-dried raw, some fresh food. Mix it up, make it diverse. Do not let food fatigue set in. It is a real thing, you guys. Your animals can get bored
We
of their
see
food.
it all the time.
Yeah, 100%. We rotate between carnivore, but it's like he despises open farm suddenly. And you know what? That's like, if he loves his carnivore, stick with your carnivore, but still be the mad scientist. Build the buffet in the bowl. Give them variety. You would not want to eat this. Imagine eating chicken and broccoli the rest of your life. And every once in a while, you got a Dorito crumb that somebody dropped, or a piece of popcorn, or maybe somebody missed the garbage when they were throwing out a chunk of cucumber, and like those are the only things you have to look forward to. Make it diverse. What's the best grain in dog food? So, what time is it? How long do we have? Here's my thing with grains, you guys. Buckle up.
She's got her ranty pants.
Ranty pants are on today. Grain in, grain out, not the question, not the issue. Our dogs were never intended to eat grains. We do not see scare wolves in cornfields. We see scarecrows. So our dogs were never intended to eat grains. So best grain in food is probably going to be the same as the best grain free food. The manufacturer is who you're looking at. However, if you've been told you must feed grains in order to prevent heart disease or DCM, thank you very much, Lisa Freeman, that is not true. Grains do not support the heart. A grain-free diet is just as healthy as grain in. In fact, there is no benefit to grain in. So I say, grain-free or grain-inclusive is not the question. Your carb count is what is more important, and reducing your carbs to have as few carbs as possible in the diet is what is more important. Hi there.
They're just doing a lot.
So if you want to feed grains, you can, but you're not supporting the heart. Heart is supported through taurine. Taurine is an amino acid that is only found in meat. So we need to feed a meat-rich diet in order to support the heart. The other way we can support the heart is by feeding heart. So we can support the organs. It's the same way we can support the kidney by feeding kidney. We can support the liver by feeding liver. We support those organs by feeding those organs. Or we make sure that we are feeding an appropriate, biologically appropriate diet. But grain in, grain out, not the question. If you want to mix some grains in there, again, you're not supporting the heart. You're not hurting anything. But I would look for the manufacturer. So Open Farm is a quality grain-free, a premium, high-quality grain-free food. But they also make an ancient grains recipe. And Open Farm, as a manufacturer, is somebody that we can trust with our food. So they would make a quality food, a quality grain-in food. Prior to Champion being acquired by Mars, I would have said the same thing about Champion. They make a good grain-free food. Their grain-inclusive food is going to be the same quality. It's just going to include grains. So there is no best grain-in food that I would recommend. In fact, my preference would be that you don't serve grains because they're not necessary in a carnivore's diet. In a carnivore's diet.
That was some little, like, just popping that in there. Trying to sell carnivore.
Right? What's your opinion on From? So, here's what I like about From. From is a family-owned business.
I feel like that's all you got.
Well, they have some nice packaging. But they also have an ingredient list that is a ridiculous amount of distance, like from here to like Winnipeg. It is a long list of ingredients, which means there is a ton of synthetics in there. So, not a fan for that reason. But the bag looks
The
nice.
smaller the ingredient list, the better.
Yeah, yeah. How long will goat's milk last in the fridge? Good question. Usually, we recommend that you finish the goat's milk within within 10 to 14 days at the very most. So as soon as it's thawed, if you're buying frozen goat's milk, once it's thawed, and you are always, you guys, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, you guys.
There's a little squirrel in there.
Yeah. You are always, when you buy things from the freezer at your pet store, you are always going to thaw at fridge temperature, not room temperature. So you're going to take your frozen goods home and you're going to put them in the fridge to thaw. Once that goat's milk has thawed, then you are going to use it within 12 to 14 days would be pushing it. Mm-hmm. So make sure that you're getting the size appropriate bottle. Like for a Zaner guy, I get the 8-ounce bottle. And he gets about an ounce a day. Huh? No, I get the 16-ounce bottle. What am I thinking? 16 is the smallest. So he gets about an ounce a day. So I get about 12-ish days out of that. And then if I have to throw out the last couple ounces, I do. Or else he just gets about an ounce and a half in order for me to use up that bottle.
There is always the option for like a dehydrated goat's milk, which is going to have the longer shelf life.
Longer shelf life, but when it's made, we would want to use that within 7 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we use the dehydrated. We make it on just like a need-to-use basis so that we're not wasting any. Because we mix in, like, we do bone broth, we do goat's milk, we do all of the things. And so sometimes the frozen, we can't get through it in the allotted amount of time. So the dehydrated can be really good if you aren't going to go through it that fast.
See, Tammy now is just poking the bear to make more ranty pants come out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, because she's asking me how I feel about the new open farm cricket food.
No.
And so, okay, I'm going to answer this one quick because this one is quick. Marlene is asking, can you freeze the goat's milk in ice cube trays? Absolutely,
Sure
and
can.
that's what we recommend. If you think you can't get through it in the allotted number of days, take it home, thaw it in the fridge, pour it into your ice cube tray, freeze it.
Yep.
And then you've got it good to go. And then you can just use what's left in the bottle, or you can make all of the trays, whatever you want to do. Tammy's asking about the open farm cricket feed. So,
Here we go.
I understand the reason behind the cricket food. Sustainability, less harm to the earth. I understand all of those. It is not something that we carry in store, but I know it is a tool in our toolbox if and when the time comes that a pet parent comes in and says, my pet is allergic to absolutely every single protein on the earth. So far, this has not happened. And I suspect that it would be unlikely that an animal would be allergic to absolutely every single protein that roams the earth. So I'm aware that the cricket food exists, and more companies are going to start coming out with this cricket food, but what they're not anticipating is the price to farm crickets. So you are going to pay a premium price for good cricket food, or black larvae, whatever they're using. Either way, it is a tool that we would have access to again in that instance that an animal was allergic to absolutely every single thing, but we haven't seen it yet. So I would rather, Zaner, 5-pound Yorkie, thinks he's a 150-pound Rottweiler. He's still not going to hunt crickets. Would he eat the odd cricket out there if he was living in the wild? Probably, but probably not on purpose. And he wouldn't go hunting crickets. So
My dogs are terrified.
yeah,
of crickets.
Tammy says sorry. She's not sorry. She wanted the rant. She wanted the rant. Okay. It's not me. It does this. Hang on.
Holy questions today.
Lots of questions.
Loving it.
You're welcome, Tammy. I am switching to Origin Small Bream. What's your thoughts on that food? Murky? Maybe those are just initials. Don't do it. If you would have asked me this a year ago, I would have said, do it. But Champion Pet Foods, the manufacturers of Origin and Acana, have just been purchased by Mars Pet Care. The same guys who make Pedigree, Royal Canin, Eukanuba, Imes, like all of the foods that we're like, don't touch that with a 10-foot pole. So if you are feeding a Champion food today, or thinking about it, when we cannot trust the manufacturer, and we know we cannot trust Mars, they have proven this for decades. When you cannot trust the manufacturer, you cannot feed that food to your animal. Your animal's life depends on the food that you feed them. You need to be able to trust your manufacturer to know that there are quality ingredients going into that food, that you are feeding healthy, good food. And we can't trust Mars. And I don't care if you know that, Mars. I don't care if you're listening. Like, you have proven to us that we can't trust you. You use harmful and controversial ingredients. Mars uses harmful and controversial ingredients in their food. They proudly display it. Proudly say, yep, we put this crap in our food. Ingredients that are known to harm animals. So we can't trust Mars. That means we can no longer trust Champion. Can you feed oat milk over kibble? Well, that's a good question. Unless, Susan, you meant goat and forgot the G.
Goat milk?
As
Yes.
in goat meal crisp, the cereal?
Lots of store-bought oat milks have tons of added sugar. So if we're doing a store-bought oat milk, I would say definitely 100% no, because there's all the added sugar, usually added vanilla, seasoning, added preservatives to keep the shelf life really good.
But if you're making
have to
your own?
look into the make your own oat milk. If you're making your own oat milk and you're doing oats and water and blending it up in the blender, that's probably fine. You won't get any nutritional value from it.
Hydration, a little bit.
But you would get the hydration. But yeah, I would say stay away from the store-bought stuff just because to get that shelf life, they do add a lot of preservatives, mostly a lot of sugar.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. No, she meant oats, so yeah, no. And Marlene is saying, she feeds Ruby Origin. What one shall I switch her to? I will reach out to you and we will talk about this. So we will find one. Marlene is in BC. So we will make sure that we find a good food for Rubes. Okay. We've answered that. Is freeze-dried raw complete and balanced to feed by itself? Yes. Depending on the size of your pet, well, hang on. You want to make sure that the freeze-dried is complete and balanced because there are freeze-dried topper options out there that are not complete and balanced. But you also have to consider the size of your pet. Pets that are 10 pounds or more, unless you are lighting cigarettes with $100 bills, freeze-dried raw as a meal option is probably not an affordable option. It is a fantastic topper regardless of size of dog, but it is a very expensive option if your dog weighs more than 10 pounds. So for dogs 10 pounds or less, freeze-dried raw is fantastic. Zahner's base diet is a freeze-dried raw diet, but Zahner is 5 pounds. So Zahner, in a total day, gets half a cup of food, right, with his supplements and his bone broth and his added fresh.
That's like nothing compared to my dog.
Right, well, okay. And my German Shepherd, when I knew nothing, you guys, my poor dogs, and I was, 6 cups in the summer and 8 cups in the winter because I was feeding Carb Central. And so, of course, he needed that much. But will raw be more calorie dense for my super active dog? I guess it's going to depend on the raw food. But it definitely will have less filler. So in that sense, yes, it would be more calorie dense because we get no filler. The only carbs that are going to be in a raw food is going to be your vegetables. If you choose to put vegetables. Not everybody does, we recommend it, but those would be the only carbs. So you would likely feed a lot less because their body is going to use everything you're putting in the bowl versus half of it ending up in your backyard because it's full of carbs.
Yes, you will see less poop when you are feeding raw. They will not poop as much. It is wonderful. Nobody likes to clean up dog poop. So the less poop we can have, the better.
That's not English and I can't read it. Okay. That's a conversation. Cameo saying thoughts on DCM, so we kind of covered that a little bit. If we want to support the heart, we need a meat-rich diet, or we need to feed heart. We don't support the heart with grains, ever, ever. I have a giant breed. Oh boy, what is this? A giant breed Karakachan. Am I even saying that right? I don't know. Karakachan puppy. He is 6 months old and eating from, but he always seems hungry. So a giant, okay, so we know he's a big dog.
Big guy.
I have never heard of a Karakachan. So from, let me think, if From even has a meat-based kibble, I don't know that they do. They might be meal-based. He may not be getting enough calories. It may, or it could just be a high-carb food and it's going through him quicker than it should be because he's not absorbing the nutrients. Like, I would look at switching to a different food. See, it's not English. It's not, you guys are thinking that I'm just saying it's not English. There's some non-English here.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay, are cats meant to only eat meat? I recently bought some pumpkin supplement and my cat loved it. So Hillary, kitties are obligate carnivores, meaning they need meat to survive. It doesn't mean we're going to hurt them. If they like pumpkin, awesome. We have a kitty customer, his daily routine, his morning routine is that he waits for his banana. There are lots of kitties out there that are like, get away from me with those fruits and veggies, give me the meat, and that is all they want. But we're not going to hurt them if we give them pumpkin. So pumpkin is a fantastic source of fiber. It's a fantastic digestive aid. So if your kitty likes pumpkin, fantastic, put it in there. For our kitty parents out there, if you are feeding a dry diet, one, you're going to make sure that it is premium, and two, you are always going to include wet food.
Big thumbs up.
Always, always. Okay? Here's why.
Big thumbs up, team.
Kitties came from desert animals. Kitties, unlike any other mammal on the planet, do not have that same thirst sensation that says, I'm thirsty, I must drink. Kitties rely on their diet for their hydration. Dry food has no more than 10% moisture. Kitties need 70% moisture. So do dogs. Dogs will drink, though, a lot more than cats. And then lots of cat parents will say, but my cat drinks all the time. And your cat might drink all the time. But it takes Kitty 2,500 tongue laps to drink their drink, 2,500 to get a quarter cup of water. So kitties, most kitties, are living in a constant state of dehydration. This is why we see kidney issues, chronic kidney disease with, you likely heard CKD, that's what they call it. Chronic kidney disease because our cats are living in constant states of dehydration. So if you're feeding dry food to your cat, be sure that it is premium. And always, always, always include wet food. And for those that come back and say, but wet food makes my cat barf, or my cat won't eat wet food. Gradually, slowly introduce wet or more moisture-rich food, whether that's raw or a rehydrated freeze-dried or bone broth or a goat's milk. I don't care. Get some wet stuff in there because we can't have kitties living on nothing but dry food all the time. Anything to add, cat expert?
Hate change. They despise change. They are habitual creatures. They love habit. They love routine. They love to know that every morning, my cats, every morning on the dot, if it's 9:31 a.m. and they haven't been fed yet and I'm 1 minute late, I will hear about it relentlessly. They love routine. And so adding in even changing the texture of the food by adding in that little bit of moisture to their dry is gonna be like, what have you done? You menace, you've changed my life. But it's for the better. So the slower we can go, more gradual, more slow, take your time, be patient with them, because they're not fighting you. They don't want to hate the moist food. They don't want to hate the water you're giving them. It's just scary, and it's change, and it's different, and cats hate that. So be gentle with them. Know that they're just gonna take a little bit of extra time than maybe you think that they will.
And kitties can take up to 6 months to move to a more healthy, nutritious diet.
Yes.
An analogy, again, that I use oftentimes with the pet parents in our store is, well, here's the thing. Ugh. We remember how much sugar's in dry food, okay? When we are feeding nothing but a dry food to our kitty, they can develop a sugar addiction. So now we're going to pretend that their dry food is your chocolate, and that the healthy food that we're trying to incorporate into their diet is celery. And if I said to you, you can never have celery again, and anytime you can never have chocolate again, and anytime you want chocolate, I'm going to give you celery, you would protest too. You'd be like, I'm not eating celery, give me my chocolate. That's what your kitty is doing when you're trying to incorporate less processed, more nutritious, healthy, good food. You're taking away the chocolate and you're trying to replace it with celery immediately, and the cat is protesting. You would too. So what we're going to do is, if I'm still going to give you chocolate because you love your chocolate, I'm going to give you almost as much chocolate as I was giving you before, and just a little tiny bit of celery. And you'll be like, well, okay, whatever, and I'll eat my chocolate, and I guess I'll eat that celery. And slowly but surely, over time, up to possibly 6 months, I'm going to continue to replace more of your chocolate with more celery. Cucumbers, vegetables, I don't care. Think of something healthy to replace your chocolate. And over the next 6 months, I'm going to keep taking away a little bit more of your chocolate and replacing a little bit more with healthy, good food. To the point that after 6 months, all of a sudden you're sitting there gnawing down a whole piece of celery and you're like, what's up? And you don't even know that your chocolate is gone. But so they're fighting a little bit of a sugar addiction because we've been feeding them so much sugar, and then they do not like change. So you can even play a game, right? If your kitty is like treat motivated, take some of that healthy, good food that you're going to replace their chocolate with and hide it around the house.
Yeah.
And let them hunt and forage for this healthy, good stuff. And they're like, well, this isn't food, this is just a game. And I get to play with treats, and they'll be okay with that, right? So we can just gradually go slow with our kitties to make sure that they're eating healthy, good stuff.
Even wear them down. That sounds weird, but play with them so relentlessly that they are just so starving at the end of that play session that they're like, whatever. Yes, I am so hungry. You had me running from that couch to that couch to that couch to the tree to the floor to the kitchen to the living room. Get them tired right before their meal. Serve that meal, and that's what worked for my kitties. It did take them a long time, but if you start initiating that hunt, catch, kill, eat drive, and we end the kill with eat, what we feed them will be natural to them to know, oh, now's my time to eat.
Yeah, because they also, we don't want to withhold food from kitties, because kitties need to eat every 24 hours or they risk becoming hypoglycemic. Same thing with some small breed dogs. Zaner never seemed to have that problem, but it doesn't mean that he couldn't. But so kitties, for sure, we always want to make sure that they're eating at least every 24 hours. So we don't want to withhold food to like, well, I'll just starve you until you want to eat. That's not the way to do it. What Lee's talking about, incorporating it slowly, getting them into a natural kind of eating mode, tiring them out, making them hungry, and doing it slowly is the best way that we can get kitties to eat healthy. Okay. These are conversations. We talked about that. Okay. It's not me.
I did see at that time it was TikTok.
See, it's always been
I was
TikTok.
wondering if it was TikTok.
Okay, you know what though? But how long have we been going here?
A long time.
A long
It is 3:15.
What time did we start? Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know that there's some conversations going back and forth, and some questions that we have already answered. And I don't want to bore the people that have been on here for the whole time and tell them a bunch more stuff that we already talked about. However, we do this on both Facebook and TikTok. So again, if you're just jumping on now, this is why you see us looking back and forth. And we got all the questions on Facebook as well. If you missed this and you thought, geez, I came in halfway through that conversation, I never got to hear what they were talking about. We always have our lives on our Facebook, but we also upload them to our YouTube channel, so you can always take a look at our YouTube channel. I want to thank everybody for jumping on. This was, I was just going to talk about nutrition, and we did. We talked about a bunch of nutrition.
Yeah,
So here's the recap, guys. We want to see you at the Pet Expo March 18th. It is at the Royal Hotel in South Albert in Regina, South Albert Street, Regina. March 18th, 10 till 4. Fantastic day for all.
We'll be there.
These two will be there. If they're not fired, they're probably going to be fired.
We've been fired.
Right? They'll probably be fired at the Pet Expo. We'll make it a big display. Just kidding. We've got our Are You a Lucky Dog contest coming up. That is all you know right now. I have not said any of the other details, so stay tuned for that. I will come live to you from Orlando, Florida when I go down to Global Pet Expo, and I will show you all of the cool new things that are coming out onto the pet market. I will be meeting up with a bunch of different pet professionals that I know and love all around the world. These are different store owners that I network with on a regular basis. So I will do that. We're waiting to hear back for Home and Garden. We may be there as well, and these two yahoos will be there to entertain you again. And there was something happening in April. You know what? We're going out too far.
It's only just the beginning of March.
It's only just the beginning of March, but we plan the whole year. We plan the whole year in January, so I know what's coming down the road.
Live for a long time, but not that long that it's almost April.
Could almost be April. Okay. Anyways, thank you guys so much for spending some of your afternoon with us. We appreciate you. We are here until 6 o'clock tonight. We are here 11 until 6 tomorrow. Closed on Sunday, back on Monday. So if you need things, pop on by. You can order online. You can come in the store. We are always happy to answer questions. So if you can't find the information on all of the stuff that we share, we look forward to hearing from you to make sure that we can extend the lives of your pets. All right, you guys.
Bye.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.